He has walked, but he's walked past here a few times. So yeah, he is known. The fella's known. The gentleman walked past me. He actually pointed the weapon at me. But when my brother looked at him, he turned away and just carried on. But when I said to the fella, "Excuse me, mate, you shouldn't be walking around with a weapon in broad daylight," he turned around and said, "Don't worry, mate, you'll hear about it on the news later."
Jake Davison, a 22-year-old self-identified incel, was responsible recently for the murder of 5 people in the Keyham area of Plymouth. The story of this tragic event begins 2 years ago. The Ford Community Gym is a special gym which helps people with their mental as well as physical health. In 2019, Davison used to regularly attend the gym near his home, where trainers also give advice on self-esteem so people can improve how they see themselves. Davison used to spend hours working out and would only lift weights, according to a fellow gym user who said he was quiet, didn't say much at all. He was characterised by others at the gym as being a bit of a loner. He'd go and find the heaviest weights and lift them. He was a big, strong lad. But if I went down for a big session at the gym, he'd always still be there when I left. This was about 2 years ago. I don't know if he still went, but it's the kind of place he would go to. It's not a big commercial place. The gym was set up by couple Peter and Bridie Bruce. In an interview of around the same time, in 2019, with the Plymouth Herald, the couple said they were driven by a passion to help others improve their mental health, as well as their physical health. Bridie, who is a mental well-being coach and MHFA youth mental health first aider, said that the gym isn't just about getting fit, it's also how people see themselves. Interest in the perpetrator has obviously grown since the Murderous incident in August 2021, but it is only very recently that past incidents involving Davison have come to the fore. In September 2020, Davison's shotgun was confiscated following a skate park attack on a 16-year-old boy that allegedly saw him smack the teenager in the face. Details of this incident have now come to the surface after it emerged the same force issued images of a man, now identified as Davison, that they wanted to speak to in connection with an alleged assault in the skate park in the city. They received reports that the 16-year-old boy was approached by a man, now thought to be Davison, in the seated area of the Central Park venue and smacked in the face on the evening of September 16, 2020. Following the attack, police appealed for information in tracking down the suspect, and the event is said to have caused the teenager visible injury. During the weekend surrounding the attack, pressure grew on Devon and Cornwall police amid questions over why the killer was granted a licence for his weapon and why it was returned to him in the month preceding the attacks in August 2021. Sean Sawyer, Chief Constable of Devon and Cornwall Police, stated, "We take and return firearms on a not irregular basis when people have emotional crises or when we receive reports from family members that they can be returned. What we don't do, because firearms licensing is a lawful thing, is trawl the internet looking at people's lives. That's an invasion of privacy." Tory MP Tim Lawton said in response, "It's a matter of public record. It's a misunderstanding of social media to suggest it would be invading their privacy." Following the events in August 2021, a disturbing series of YouTube videos emerged, all of which had been released prior, obviously, in which the gunman, under the username Professor Waffle, fantasised about being the Terminator from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie of the same name.
For the most part, it's just been me against the world. It's just been me fighting an uphill battle with a big rock on my back, you know, while I'm seeing that don't deserve half of anything. Now they're getting a free ride to the top. The whole premise of the Terminator movies is that, you know, everything's rigged against you. There's no hope for humanity. You know, we're on the brink of extinction. You know, these machines are unstoppable, killing machines that can't be beaten, can't be outsmarted. But yet, humanity still tries to fight to the end. And I know it's a movie, but you know, I like to think sometimes, you know, I'm a Terminator or something. And
Davison would speak of his belief in the black pill philosophy of the incel community, a fatalistic and misogynistic worldview that your position in life cannot change, no matter what you do to change it, or to try to change it. But comments from Sawyer that sifting through the videos would infringe on the killer's right have sparked fresh calls from MPs for more rigorous background checks before guns are finally returned to their owners. On the 12th of August 2021, at 11 minutes past 6 British Summer Time, not Standard Time, police received reports of shots having been fired inside a house on Biddick Drive, a residential street in the Keyham area of Plymouth, Devon. Within the house, 22-year-old Jake Davison had killed his 51-year-old mother Maxine after an argument. She was his first victim. Historically, she and other relatives are claimed to have begged the police and NHS to help Jake with his mental health problems. He then left the house with what witnesses described as a pump-action shotgun. This is corroborated by what we know him to have been in possession of. Following this, he shot and killed a 3-year-old girl and her 43-year-old father in the street. Adopted Sophie Martin and her father Lee were shot by Jake Davison at random. Witnesses have told how Lee died while trying to shield his daughter from the gunman. Sophie and Lee were rushed to nearby Derriford Hospital, where Lee's wife Becky works. Both passed away despite the medics' best efforts. Sophie was pushing a toy pram when the gunman struck. Next, he injured a 53-year-old woman and her 33-year-old son in a house on Biddick Drive before shooting and murdering dog walker Stephen Washington, 59. Davison then went to Henderson Place, where he shot and fatally wounded a 66-year-old woman, Kate Shepherd. He told a passing resident that there was nothing to worry about, mate, shortly before killing himself. Davison was described as walking like he was on patrol, like a soldier with a gun, and with a blank expression. This disturbing new footage shows the gunman crouching over one of his victims' bodies during the horror attack. It is filmed from a car's dashcam. It picks up the grisly scenes as Davison looms over the woman while shocked residents appear to be calling the police. The backlash from all of this has been great. Nazir Afzal, who was previously Chief Crown Prosecutor for the North West, said Davison was exactly the type of person the authorities should be keeping an eye on. The police chief investigating the mass shooting was confronted by an angry local on why his force had given back Davison's pump-action shotgun after taking it away. Jake Davison's own sister spoke of how she had been unable to comprehend the fact that her brother had murdered their mother Maxine before taking 4 more lives, including that of a 3-year-old girl. She told a friend, "I'm devastated. I haven't been able to take it all in. It's just too much." Her friend added, "She is heartbroken. Her brother has not only shot and killed their mother, but then taken his own life, and if that isn't bad enough, is responsible for killing 4 innocent people, including a little 3-year-old girl. She's lost 2 members of her family and needs time to grieve, which is difficult because she's had so many people knocking at her house. She's had to move away temporarily. When I saw her, She looked so shocked still, and really tired and withdrawn. You can see the effect this horrible incident has had on her. The one positive thing is that she isn't alone. She has her boyfriend Shane, who has been looking after her and providing a shoulder to cry on. He's been a tower of strength. Home Secretary Preeti Patel and Chief Constable of Devon and Cornwall Police Sean Sawyer visited Plymouth and visited the tributes very soon after the event. Plymouth residents came together for a candlelight vigil at North Down Crescent Park after the local community was rocked by the shooting spree. Given that this event happened mere weeks ago, this is still very much fresh in the minds of all the families of the victims, of the residents of Plymouth and obviously Keyham, and of the UK in general. This is a still developing story. Obviously, there will not be any justice since Jake Davison is already dead, but I am sure that this is not the last we've heard of this news story.